Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's a Monday. It's the 27th day of May. It's National Cellophane Tape Day, National Grape Popsicles Day.
Okay.
Not any popsicle.
Just grape ones.
Yes. And National Memorial Day. Today is Memorial Day. So
Nice.
Today is not about celebrating, mattress sales or car sales. It's about remembering people who have given their life to protect our way of life.
Yep.
So be sure to do something special. And this is one of those things where I encourage people to talk to your kids about what Memorial Day really is. I've got a guest, since it is also a Movie Star Monday, I've got a guest joining me today. If you grew up in the 80s and watched a movie called Revenge of the Nerds, that was a movie that was like life-altering for a lot of people.
Huge movie. I loved
Up until that point,
movie.
there had never really been a movie where like the stars were nerds.
Right.
Like, because that was never really a popular thing. Well, then all of a sudden it made it kind of cool to be a nerd. Well, I have Betty Childs joining me today. Well, her real name is Julia Montgomery, but she played Betty Childs, one of the cheerleaders.
Yep, the head cheerleader.
Yeah, we met her at 80s in the Sand last year, and then we caught up with her again at 80s in the Desert just like a month ago. So we'll have that interview coming up in just a bit.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A new survey found that parents say that their young children should start focusing on their career choices by what age, Heidi? 5. Age 5.
Yeah, I was going to guess awfully young, knowing how people are shoving stuff down their kids' throats.
If I was going to focus on what I wanted to be when I was 5, I don't know what I would be, but probably not this. I'd probably be like a superhero or something. I mean,
I would be a failed ballerina.
Would you really? Nice.
Yes.
One of my favorite comedians, Michael Jr., hilarious guy, by the way. If you've not heard of him, Google him. He's so funny. One of his jokes, he talked about how his kids came to him and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a doctor." And he was thinking, "Oh, that's really cool." And they said, "Or a dinosaur."
Yeah.
And when I read this study, I instantly thought of that. Because that's what kids are, like, I want to be a doctor. Oh, that's awesome. Or a dinosaur.
And the next minute, something completely different. So, yeah, you don't do that to your kids. Let them grow up. Let them just be children.
Be a kid. Exactly. This is Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A Wyoming man told police that he traveled back in time, and that is what was going on. It wasn't just that he was drunk. He traveled back in time, and the blood alcohol level was all due to time travel.
Okay, I see. So it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, the guy is a hero, Heidi. He's a hero. He was claiming to be from the future. 27-year-old Bryant Johnson said that he was he just appeared to be under the influence.
Right.
I'm from the year 2048. I'm here.
His brain's all messed up from all that time travel.
I'm here to let you know about an alien invasion that's going to take place next year. He told the residents, "You need to leave as soon as possible. Get out of Casper, Wyoming right now." He demanded to talk to the president of the town.
The president of the town.
Yeah. And didn't want to talk to anybody. I'm only going to talk to the president of your town. So apparently in 2048, towns have presidents.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So
that's fantastic.
He said that he had to stand on a pad, and the aliens filled his body with alcohol.
Okay.
And they sent him to the wrong year. He was supposed to go to a different year.
Well,
but he had red, watery eyes and slurred speech. Smelled of booze. So 0.136, twice the legal limit. Yeah. So bizarre story. That could have been our weird news of the day as well. But he was drunk as a skunk. So that's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Kim Kardashian, am I saying that right? And Kanye West. Have you heard of these people?
Yes, once or twice.
Oh, yeah, they're in the news now. They're being mocked for the name of their fourth child, Psalm.
Which
Psalm. It's a book in the Bible.
Sure, I know that.
It's right next to Proverbs in the Bible. And that's their child's name, Psalm West. And there are people that don't like that. So... You know what?
Actually, I think that's one of the better ones that they've chosen.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that we should have another kid and name our kid Psalm, but it's actually kind of an interesting name for a child.
It's interesting, and good for them. I think that's awesome.
Kendall Jenner, is she related to Kim Kardashian somehow?
Her sister,
Is that what it is? I don't know how we don't watch any of that stuff, so I have no idea. But I was thinking there was some sort of connection. She told Vogue Australia that she keeps her relationship with NBA star Ben Simmons private. Simmons, maybe it is. I think we're not sports people either.
we really don't know anything about anything.
Out of touch here. She keeps that private because she's learned a lot from her older sisters. So there you go.
Good for you, sweetheart.
We're gonna just stop there because there's another story that I don't know much about. So.
Let's just stop while we're ahead.
Stop while I don't sound too dumb. Oh, too late? Whoops. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, your scoop of the day, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. A study by the Max Planck Institute found that baboon mothers will set their sons up with a mating partner. Baboon mamas will do that. So it's apparently a way to make sure they have grand baboons. Okay. So I think we need to do that because we're not going to have any grand baboons.
You know
Heidi.
What? Unless we step in, I don't think it's going to happen.
We've got a son
concerned.
And a daughter. Our daughter graduates right now. She's graduating just from high school. So I'm not in a huge rush for her to go out and have baboon babies. Not or any kind of babies, but
I'd rather her not have baboon.
I know I'm being silly because of the story, but our son is in his 20s now, and he's not dating anyone. And the other day we were at a restaurant. We actually called him and had him come out and join us. We're like,
I always thought it would be so annoying to have parents that are like, "Oh, when are you going to settle down?" Now we're those.
Now we are those parents, but we actually had him come. We're like, "Hey, check out this waitress. What do you think?" He's like, "Dad, I don't need a wingman. Leave me alone." Yeah, you don't need a wingman. You need someone to line it all up is what you need. Police in Arkansas, Fayetteville, arrested a woman who posed as a deputy so she could get her boyfriend out of prison. That doesn't work. I mean, has that ever worked?
No, that's not going to work.
This is like the third time we've read stories of people trying this. It doesn't work, ever. Don't do that. Well, again... If you want to do that, that's fine. They'll just arrest you, too.
Yeah,
that's
you'll
what
be
happened.
in there, too.
National Beard and Mustache Championships are underway in Antwerp, Belgium.
Antwerp?
Yeah, it looks like a German
fun name.
That is a fun one. That's they're known for diamonds, and now apparently beards and mustaches. A German dude won Best Mustache. So there you go. A French town is offering free Viagra to any couple who moves there. They're trying to boost their birth rate.
Alrighty.
So they're saying, "Hey, come on over. We'll help you out however we can." So we'll see how that goes. DNA tests reveal that 30% of migrant families that are crossing the border are not related, even though they're claiming family asylum. They're saying, "Hey, I want to stay because of this child."
I got this child,
but they found the child somewhere or kidnapped the child somewhere because they're
or the
testing
child
DNA.
is in sex trafficking, which is horrible problem.
I just think that whole thing is really scary and sad. I've got a link to the story if you want to read the details on that. I'm going to move on to this. A fleet of vintage World War II planes departed from the U.S. for Normandy a week ago today to prepare for D-Day celebrations.
Nice.
So how cool is that? And a study by the Wall Street Journal found that millennials are in worse financial shape than every previous generation before them. Here's the thing that's interesting, though. I know several millennials that don't really need money for much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really need much. You're like, well, don't you want to get a different car? No, I like my car. Don't you want to get... No, I'm content. I'm like, what? What? I'm like,
I don't know what that would feel like.
No, me neither. I'm like, my generation, we mortgaged everything. And then we worked our tails off.
Constantly improve.
What do you... We just bought a house. What are you doing now? Saving up for my next house. Just bought that car. Now I'm going to go buy a different car. It's interesting. I've got a link to that story, too. A new survey found that San Francisco has topped Zurich, Germany, as the best place to make money. So if you do want to make money, they're saying the place to make it is San Francisco. That's where folks are making money these days, Heidi.
Okay.
And New York Police Department has been rocked by a scandal where a female officer hired a hitman to kill her husband and her new boyfriend's daughter. So she wanted her husband out of the way, and then she had this new boyfriend on the line, but he had a daughter, so she wanted the daughter out of the way too.
Man.
So she's in all kinds of trouble. Apparently, that's illegal.
Who knew?
I know. Who would have thunk it? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
It's another Movie Star Monday, and Heidi, I'm so excited. Today, we're going to be chatting with Julia Montgomery. She's such a sweetheart, isn't she?
She is.
Super duper nice lady. You may remember her from Revenge of the Nerds. She was Betty Childs. That's one of the cheerleaders from the Pie cheerleader.
She was the cheerleader.
The head cheerleader. And now, like I said, we had a chance to meet up with her. We've got this interview from 80s in the Desert. But we first met her at 80s in the Sand.
Exactly, in the Dominican. That was so super fun. I'm going to be back. I'm going back for the next one in November. So,
that is really cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you do quite a few events like this?
I do a lot of Comic-Cons, and this is my second 80s in the, with Steve, who I adore. So I hope that he's just going to call me to everything because I love his events, honestly.
I do too. They're so much fun. Now,
they're so nice. Yeah. He takes care of us so well, and the venues are always pretty, and, it's just really, really enjoyable. And the fans are really nice. All of our fans are nice, but there's a different, I don't know. He seems to pull in a really good crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, something that's kind of fun, you have at your table something that I don't think anybody else has, pie tins. So now you were one of the pie cheerleaders back in Revenge of the Nerds, and there was kind of a famous scene where there was a photo of you in a pie tin.
Right, exactly.
And I love that you're just going with it here, and people can get pie tins with you in it. Is that like a pretty popular request?
Oh, yes. It's definitely really popular, and people are like, what? When they see it, they're like, oh my God, I have to have that.
That is so fun.
And
Where did that start?
Told me let's see. Just a couple years ago, really, like 4 years ago.
Did somebody bring you a pie tin, or did you think of it?
No, it was actually my agent who runs these events, or he books us in these events, Sean Clark, and he just came up with this idea.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
It is so fun, and I know. When we were in 80s in the Desert, let me think here, 80s in the Sand. I get these all confused.
I understand, yeah.
When we were at 80s in the Sand, I saw some there and I see them here, and I just think that's really a cool thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I sold out of them there, and so then I had to mail them to people, and so I tried to bring a lot more this time just so that that wouldn't happen. But also some people want it sent because they don't want it to get messed up. So I even have some little boxes from the post office because I can appreciate that. You don't want to
Absolutely.
buy it and then,
So now for people listening and are trying to think, what is this pie thing all about? That's from the movie Revenge of the Nerds. But in addition to that, you've had a chance to do some other really great projects as well.
Yes.
Is that kind of the one that's the big one that people know you from the most?
Pretty much. It's the most, it's like the movie that had the most legs of what I did, and that one that I was the lead in.
And it was such an iconic film as well. Nothing
totally.
like that really had been done before.
Right, exactly. Not with the kind of heart that our film had. I mean, our film is funny, and it's all kinds of things that a lot of films were in the 80s, but then it has such heart and such a message. And like people will come up to me and I'm sure to other of our cast and just be like, you changed my life. And I'm like, I hope that's not just because of the brief nudity. But because, but they'd be, no, really, like, it was the message of the movie, I mean, yeah, you might have been my first crush, and but it was the message of the movie. Yeah. And that was what was so special about it to me. And in fact, I was asked to do the Nerds 2, but it was written by different writers. And I was actually shooting in Vancouver. I was shooting a miniseries at the time, but we kind of figured out how to schedule it. However, on page 6 of that script, they had me, Betty Childs, sleeping with a jock, cheating on Lewis on page 6. I'm like, well, the reason is, so the director was calling me and producer personally, bypassing the agents, just saying, no, we really want you to do this. I'm like, how can you have my character cheating on Lewis when the whole movie, for me, was that I fell in love with Lewis, but that what I had to go through, that I realized what an ace he was in every way, like what a nice guy, what a smart guy, incredible endurance. And of course, I guess he had some good tricks in bed, but anyway, or on the moon bounce. But I mean, to have them even have a script with me in it like that I was so upset, because I'm like, I guess you don't realize what the meaning of the movie was as far as for everyone, accepting that we're all kind of nerds, and also, giving up the stereotype. I mean, Stan was not nice to me, right? Yeah. I mean, that was not exactly, and it was a big deal for Betty, because you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that, and we're all a part of that in life. But it was like a big deal. So when I...
Quite a transformation.
Thank you. Well put. Yeah. And so they were like, well, we'll rewrite the scene. And I'm thinking, well, how can you rewrite it to the extent?
Yeah.
What's going to make sense? So I just turned it down. And Curtis was already working on that show. So he knew, he said, they really they haven't been changing things the way we did on the first one. Yeah. There isn't the input they said that they were wanting us from the actors, which is why the first one was really so great.
Absolutely.
Because the actors really, and Jeff Canoe, the director, so talented and so much fun, really completely encouraged us to bring it all and see what any ideas. Let's play them out, and that's what made it so much fun.
Absolutely. So if people would like to find you online, how do they follow you on social media and all of that, or where do they track you down on the internet?
I'm so bad. I actually have an Instagram that I never do anything with. Like, why didn't I put this event on it? It's called The Real Betty Childs. Nice. So maybe this will inspire me. There is on Instagram the real Betty Childs.
And we'll throw a link to that to make it easy to find.
Can you help me with that?
I will help you with that. Thank you so much, Julia.
You're welcome. So nice talking with you.
This interview with Julia was recorded at 80s in the Desert in Las Vegas just recently. She is also going to be back at 80s in the Sand in Punta Cana. Sammy Hagar will be there as well. Debbie Gibson, Lita Ford, Greg Kinn, Tone Loc. I've got a whole list and all the details in our show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Columbus thought he saw mermaids. During his travels in 1493, Christopher Columbus believed that he saw mermaids in the ocean. He described them as not half as beautiful as they are painted. More than likely, he spotted manatees in the water. So, there you go.
Okay.
It's a manatee. Well, they're
not as pretty as I thought they'd be.
Mermaid's not as cute as I was expecting her. So there you go. Fun little fact for you right here on the John and Heidi Show.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Wiccaphobia, Heidi. Wiccaphobia. Wiccaphobia. What do you think that would be? Nothing to do with Wikipedia.
Fear of male witches.
Hey, good job. It is. Fear of witches and witchcraft.
All right.
So any kind of witch.
All
not
right.
just male witches. Female witches. Sandwiches. Probably not really sandwiches, but witches.
I thought
and
Wiccans were... No, Wiccans are females, aren't they?
don't
I
know.
thought the Wiccans were males, but they're not.
I don't know. I have no idea. How do you know so much about witches? What are you doing at midnight when I wake up and you're not in bed? Is that what you're up to?
Yeah, I'm practicing witchcraft.
You're making a sandwich. So you're practicing sandwichcraft. Anyway, Wiccaphobia. Today's fun with phobias.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. An accused lemur schemer is coming clean. This is exactly what it said. I read it word for word. A fight for preserving endangered animals scored a major victory when a 19-year-old California man agreed to plead guilty to stealing a rare lemur from a zoo last year. According to the Department of Justice, Akinis Casper admitted to plea agreement to swiping Isaac, a 32-year-old ring-tailed lemur from the Santa Ana Zoo last July. The night of the animal's abduction, he snuck into the zoo after hours and used a bolt cutter to create an opening in the lemur's enclosure. In the process, the monkeys escaped the same cage.
Oh, no.
Had to be recovered by zoo staffers. The kidnapped critter, the oldest of its species in North American captivity, was recovered after he dropped the animal off in a plastic drawer near a Newport Beach hotel. Attached to the container was a note that said, "This belongs to the Santa Ana Zoo. It was taken last night. Please bring to police."
Wow.
He's been charged with unlawfully taking
So he
an
must have
endangered
sobered up
species.
and realized, what in the world am I doing with this lemur?
Yeah, probably. It's like, this wasn't nearly as fun as I thought it would be. This lemur, he's not as smart as Zaboomafoo. Remember that?
I
Zaboomafoo?
do remember that. Our kids used to watch that.
He may face a year in prison and a $100,000 fine.
Yikes.
So for those of you schemers of stealing lemurs,
steal a lemur.
yeah, don't do that. They're not free. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Some people were really, really passionate about pepperoni. A Pizza Hut customer in Ohio was arrested for threatening the manager of a local pizzeria, a Pizza Hut, because there wasn't enough pepperoni on his pie.
Okay.
May 9th, officers had to respond to an angry customer call. They got there. The 31-year-old man said he wanted to come around the counter and kill the manager. Well, that's not good. He says he didn't want to be charged with robbery. The man later went outside and removed something from his car before coming back into the doorway and holding the item in his pocket. After 10 seconds, he departed, flashed a black handgun in the air on his way back to the car, and he was arrested. There was security footage of him doing all of this. So
Black handgun.
Yes.
I'm glad they specified.
yes,
that
I don't
it
know
was
why they needed the color
black
in there, but
handgun.
this was a terrible idea. If you want pepperoni, I guess that's awesome. If they make a mistake, they'll probably make you another pizza. I mean, you
Just
don't
gotta
get a
be
gun.
nice
You don't-
about
yeah,
it.
be nice. Here's the thing.
And
so
if you
many
didn't
times,
ask for extra pepperoni, dude,
Yeah.
if you didn't pay for extra pepperoni, you're not going to get extra pepperoni.
even if there was a mistake made, if you're really nice about it, if you're like, oh, hey, actually, I ordered that with pepperoni. Could you guys help me out there? The answer is probably going to be yes. I mean, very rarely are you going to need to get a gun involved in a little dispute over a pizza.
Exactly.
It's a bad idea.
Especially not
when
a
I say
black
very
gun.
rarely, never, never, ever. All right. Thanks for listening to today's Moment of Duh.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things. Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? You might actually get this. I don't know if you know this or not. COBOL, C-O-B-O-L, COBOL, French, and sign. If you put...
language?
Yes, they're all languages. So COBOL is like a computer language.
Okay.
So COBOL, French is they speak that in France, I believe.
Something like that. I believe I've heard that.
Yes, and then sign, they speak in, it's sign language. So... I just did sign language with my hands. Doesn't probably translate to the radio very well.
And Yoda.
Yeah. What is
and Pig Latin.
Pig Latin is also language.
All languages.
Well, they didn't have those because it's these three things, not these five things. Thanks for playing. You did good, really, really good on these three things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is pretty darn cool news. Comes your way courtesy of ripitgloves.com. Promo code radio. That's R-I-P-I-T gloves.com. I think this is just a pretty darn cool story here. Burley Man Coffee is on a mission to help 100 single moms. It's a subscription company, and they're donating a new car to 100 single mothers.
Okay.
How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
So they started this in March. They donated a car to a single mother. She has a nonverbal autistic son in Lake Worth, Florida. And Celeste Bachstrom, she'd been the full-time caretaker for her son Logan. He's 16. But she had been without a car for 4 years, made it difficult to get a lot of the things done, like groceries, taking the son to the doctor. So she finally raised enough money to buy a used car online, only to find out it was stolen. So apparently the car had been stolen.
That's too bad.
And then they were trying to sell it to her. Anyway, she said, I was shocked and extremely disappointed. But then Burley Man Coffee came along. Says, it took me a long time to save up enough money to buy a car. I lost it all in a moment. I was devastated. So I think this is really cool. They gave her a car, and they're saying, you know what? This was such a huge thing, and it made such a big difference. We want to do more. So now they're working on giving away more and more.
That's fantastic.
And more. 100 cars they're giving away. I think
love
that's cool.
these stories
I do
so
too.
much.
I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. And it is Memorial Day, and we want to make sure that we say thank you to the men and women who served our country so bravely. For those of you who came home, thank you so much. For those who didn't come home, also a debt of gratitude for sure for you and for your families. My grandfather on both sides, veterans. Heidi has several veterans in her family as well. So this is something that's near and dear to us. So a big thank you on this Memorial Day. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.